It's on everybody. It's like you said. It's not going to be on Davante Adams to go and save the season or save the game or whatever. It's not going to be on Derek Carr. It's not going to be on. It's on everybody. Everybody got a role. I mean, the game can be won or lost in special teams, one play at the end of the day. So it's on everybody to think that it's your job to do your job.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Silver and Black Show. Amber Theoharis along with James Jones here in Week 3, and Davante Adams said it all. Everybody has to do their job. This is a team that cannot afford to go 0-3. They're looking for their first win on the road against a Tennessee Titans team that just struggled mightily on Monday Night Football in front of a national audience against the Buffalo Bills, who are one of the best teams in the AFC. But Davante's right. I mean, he has the right attitude. This is a must-win. Everybody has to have that mentality.
And that's the only way to go in the game, right? Everybody do your job. He said it, too. He said the roster that we have here in Las Vegas is a really good roster. If we get everybody to buy in, everybody do your job, make sure you where you're supposed to be. If you're supposed to make the play, do your job. And it's simple. They are the better football team going out here on Sunday. And if they do what they're supposed to do, they should win this ball game, and they should win it easy. So he's exactly right. That should be the message all week in the meetings and all that. Do your job and do it at a high level. We find ourselves in a really good situation.
Well, the Tennessee Titans, especially Mike Vrabel, always looking for a dogfight. Mm-hmm. They are 0-2 as well. So these are two playoff teams, both in desperate need of a win. Here's how they match up. 0-2. Take a look at points per game. The Raiders scoring about 21 points per game. They're ranked 13th. Tennessee Titans points have been a little bit more difficult. Turnover differential, though. Both of these teams have struggled to protect the football and force turnovers. So that is something that we are going to need to see. So I think the turnovers will be a big highlight for the Raiders if they're able to. But number one, they've got to stop the run. The defense has to stop Derrick Henry. In your opinion, is that the number one key to this game?
That is the number one key. If they do not stop Derrick Henry, they are not going to get any turnovers. Mm-hmm. They have to find a way to stop Derrick Henry. That is the only way that you are going to win this ball game. You cannot let Derrick Henry wreck this ball game. And you better believe that they are going to give him the rock time and time again so he can get off some runs like this and be able to bust this game wide open. But he is the key. If you stop him and you put the ball in Ryan Tannehill's hands, then that's when we will get some interceptions. We will get some sacks. We will get some takeaways to be able to get the ball back to Derek Carr. But you have to make the Tennessee Titans one-dimensional. When they are one-dimensional and their quarterback has to make a throw, they are not a very good football team. So for the Raiders, on the defensive side of the ball, number one, I don't care how many people you put inside the box, we have to stop this man right here, Derrick Henry, and you have to let Ryan Tannehill beat you with his right arm.
And look, Derrick Henry has been struggling in his first two games. He was coming off the injury from last year. He had the broken bone in his foot, came back for the playoffs, didn't perform well, and has been a slow start. He's averaging 3.15 yards per carry. And you see that one stat at the bottom, he's only had one rush for 10 yards or more. So those big, explosive breakoff plays aren't really happening for him. But can you not be fooled by this slow start? Because Derrick Henry's still Derrick Henry last time I checked, right?
Well, you better not be fooled by this slow start because you said it earlier in the show, right? They are desperate, right? These are two 0-2 teams desperate. So you better believe they're coming. And the thing that stood out to me was the attempts. So they're giving him the ball. And you better believe coming into this game again, they are going to give him the ball even more. So the Raiders cannot fall asleep. They got to come out in this game with a sense of urgency from the very first play. You can't let them get those 10-yard runs and start getting in the groove, because then if they do, it's going to be a long day.
Do you remember there was a guy named Kyler Murray that was kind of struggling coming into the game against the Raiders? Remember he woke up in the second half?
Woke up in the second
Can't
half.
risk that happening with Derrick Henry as well. But the Bills were able to shut down Derrick Henry on Monday Night Football. He had just 1.92 yards per carry. So what did you see that they did right? It's going to come down to the interior linemen.
Buffalo, number one, Buffalo's front seven is very good, and they displayed that. They came after them boys. They knew the plays before the plays was even coming, but the best thing that they did was they loaded the box up. Mm-hmm. They loaded the box up. You put 9 in the box on Derrick Henry. If you put 9 in the box on Derrick Henry, he's not going to have anywhere to go. You can see right here, they have 9 people in this box right here, right? So everybody is not going to get blocked, right? You see right here, this is an excellent job by Von Miller. As you're going to see, Derrick Henry wants to cut this back. Von Miller crosses the face, and you get your linebacker ready to play off him, and he has to bounce it, and then that's when the whole posse comes, right? But that's 9 in the box. Buffalo Bill came out here, and they loaded this box up again and said, well, listen, 22 is not going to beat us. Ryan Tannehill's going to have to beat us. But what we do know the Tennessee Titans like to do, they're going to give it to 22 anyway. Right here, excellent job with force defender right here. You see 47 forcing that thing to go back in. He still tries to bust it outside. Negative play. Right here again, the box is loaded up. You see the safety Pryor about to walk down in this box as well, right? Excellent job by Big Money Von Miller right here, splitting the double team. Another tackle for loss, right? This is how you stop Derrick Henry. Again, 9 in the box. Linebacker shooting the gap, forces the fullback to pick you up 5 yards in the backfield, and then they just making Derrick Henry stretch this thing, and the linebackers is running sideline to sideline. This was an excellent job by the Buffalo Bills all game long. It's going to take our whole front seven to stop Derrick Henry.
You have to give a lot of credit to the Bills' defensive tackles. Ed Oliver out there, Daquan Jones out there as well, and so it's going to come down to the Raiders' defensive tackles. We haven't talked a lot about this interior line. Everybody focuses on the pass rush, but Patrick Graham wanted some big bodies to be able to stop the run, and that's why they brought in Andrew Billings and also Bilal Nichols. They got him from the Chicago Bears. He signed as a free agent, so they're going to need to stop Derrick Henry on Sunday.
Absolutely, and listen, this is a game right here to where penetration is not really a factor in this. You're not trying to come off the ball and get a bunch of penetration, right? You're not trying to do that. Plug your gap.
Yeah.
If you are in the B gap is yours. Like Davante said, do your job. If you are in the A gap, be in the A gap. Just plug those gaps up, and then you just let your linebackers run and make tackles. If the gaps are plugged up, now the linebackers can run free, right, and they can make some tackles. But do not try to jump around blocks, right? Do not try to get out the scheme of the defense, because once you start doing that, that's when those gash runs come. So what I want to see from these D tackles, take on those double teams. Hold your gap so your linebackers can run sideline to sideline, make Derrick Henry bounce that thing out to Max and Chandler Jones, and the Raiders defense should be perfectly fine. Well,
this matchup between the Tennessee Titans and the Raiders is going to feature two coaches that know each other from the Patriots, Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel. Coming up, it's Coach McDaniels. The Silver and Black Show is brought to you by Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights. Book now only at Allegiant.com. 1800, the best taste in tequila and official partner of the Raiders.
Here's Derrick Henry with some nice running. Henry trying to turn it on inside the 30, stays on his feet, and he will go! Derrick Henry, 60 yards!
This guy's as good of a player as there is in the league at any position. At his position, he's special and he's unique. We don't play any other backs that are 6'3.5", 250, that can run as fast as he can run. And so this game is going to be all about closing the space and try to narrow in those running lanes and not let him get started. And we're going to have to rally to the football, pursue, and tackle well. And there's no shortcut to that. There's going to be some big collisions, and sometimes he delivers them, and sometimes we're going to get a chance to get at his legs. But it'll be a big challenge. We're going to know that they're going to want to get him going. It's a home game. They're coming off a road Monday nighter. Like, I'm sure as I'm sitting here, they're going to talk about trying to get him 30-plus carries. We're going to need to do a good job in the running game.
Well, if history is any indicator of what is going to happen in the future, Derek Carr could have a very good game on the road in Tennessee. Between 2015 and 2017, he played on the road there 3 times. 3-0 is the record. The man completed 64% of his passes, 6 touchdowns, only 1 interception. What does Derek have to do, though, to get those numbers back again?
Find 1-7. That's what he got to do. Find 1-7. You see how he find an 83 and 89 in these videos?
He didn't have 1-7 there. He didn't have him.
Find 1-7, and 1-7 will take you there. But no, he has Darren Waller. He has Davante Adams, right? Take care of the football. Derek Carr is a special thrower of the football. Take care of the rock, and we know he's going to complete passes like this, and the Raiders will be off to a really good day.
Unfortunately, Hunter Renfrow, though, not expected to play. He has been ruled out. He had a concussion after that last hit hit of the Cardinals game. So he won't be out there, so not having his slot receiver could affect him, but he's going to have to go to the other weapons. Now, of course, Davante Adams is the #1 focus of Mike Vrabel, but listen what reporters had to ask Mike Vrabel, and it's awesome.
He just gets open a lot. Whether there's two guys on him, he's always open when it's single coverage. Intermediate route runner, vertical threat. He's got great release, plays with different speeds, got great play strength. It's fun to watch when you're not preparing for him.
I know it's not your defense to have a corner follow a guy like that around. Why don't you?
Who would you want? I mean, is there like
Fulton, if he's healthy, it seems like a guy.
Champ Bailey available this week, or we'll figure out whatever we think is best this week, Paul.
Champ Bailey.
Okay, I mean, you're done interrupting me.
You're done. And for the record, Champ Bailey is not available. We can confirm that he is not available today or on Sunday. Christian Fulton, by the way, has been limited in practice with a hamstring all week. A guy that's only started 16 NFL games. That's probably not the dude you want on Davante Adams, because we saw what happened with Stephon Diggs on Monday Night Football. I know you watched that game against the Buffalo Bills. He exploited that secondary, and you have to think Davante is going to have a huge opportunity.
And that's why Coach Vrabel is looking at him crazy, because did you watch the Monday night game?
Deion Sanders available?
You're done. And that's what Stephon Diggs is saying to the DBs. You're done when he took the football field. And right here, we're going to show you. Stephon Diggs, #1, was all over the football field. Right here, you see him outside. He running a nice little curl route outside, wide left, right? Fulton getting out of there, running. Then they inside the numbers, right? We call this right here a Dino route, right? He hits this ball, acts like he's going to the corner, back to the post, Dino route, touchdown, right? He was inside the numbers. Then we wide right. We run a slice route, we cross your face, which is not supposed to happen in the red zone as a DB. Stephon Diggs still gets the job done. Touchdown, #3 on the day. If you don't know what tree is, that's #3 on the day. You cannot play Davante Adams the way you play Stephon Diggs, or it will be the same results.
148 yards, 3 tinkers, I believe. Is that
Tink.
Tink. All right, when we come back, Mack Hollins hoping he has a tink. He's been a big part of the offense for the Raiders. We sit down with him coming up next. Raiders' new wide receiver, Mack Hollins, and you're getting to know Raider Nation, so we want them to get to know you a little bit. You're originally from Rockville, Maryland, and let me get this straight. I heard you don't eat seafood?
No, I don't eat seafood. Don't eat no
Make
crabs,
it make
none.
sense. Crabs,
nope,
mussels?
None of it. It swims in its own poop, and I can't do it. All right, and then people say, well, beef lives in poop, and well, it lives in it and fully being immersed in it, that's different.
One thing I love about you is a commitment to literacy. You have MacBook Mondays. I was hearing that you're reading The Color of Money right now. That's a great book. Yep. I read it. What's something that you took out of that book?
I think I learned a lot just of like the history of the United States and its financial systems, and I guess the inequality that has happened throughout our country's history. But then I think when you learn about the history of something, it's a little bit easier to understand how to potentially fix it. Mm-hmm. Does that mean it's going to get fixed immediately? No, but it means I have a little more knowledge on things that haven't worked and things that have worked and how we could change it in the future.
I always say you have to know history so it won't repeat itself.
Exactly.
Let's talk about football. What a great story. In less than 2 months, you've gone from a free agent trying to make a 53-man roster to being named team captain of the Raiders. What type of mentality would you say is responsible for you being able to seize this opportunity here?
I think it's cliche, but it's like you just put your head down and work. My head's probably up because I talk a lot, but I'm still working. And I just came here and had the mindset that I was just going to work, and everything seems to always fall in place, at least in my life, when I just put in the work and don't complain and make stuff happen. In
your job as a captain, you put out a mandate of sorts after the tough loss to the Cardinals. What did you put out to your teammates? What was the message?
I'm a big believer in you react the same to wins and losses. Obviously, you'll feel a little better after a win, but if you win, and this goes the same as like people talking to you off the field, like talking trash, whatever it is, or the good stuff, if you take the good stuff or take the wins and just love it up and you are just full of ecstasy and you just love it so much, but then when you lose, you're like down in the dumps. It's like you're just too high and low and high and low. Like the loss is the loss, learn from it, and then now we're on to the next team.
We heard Coach McDaniels talk a lot this week about consistency. It was kind of the buzzword. And so how much will consistency be a factor in getting the first win for the Raiders this season?
I think it's everything. Like consistency, like everybody's chasing perfection, being great. But if you're great for 59 minutes in a 60-minute game, it doesn't matter. So if you can't consistently do something, what's it really matter? Then all of a sudden it's just a one-off thing that you did. Nobody expects you to do it if it's not consistent. So we just have to consistently make plays. We have to put the first and second half together and play an entirely good game.
How much opportunity is created for you when Davante does have to be accounted for, when everybody's looking at him?
I'm not shy to say that he's the reason I was successful last week. He's earned the respect that he gets from defenses and defensive coordinators. And if that's the game that defenses are going to play, then I just have to be ready, and the other receivers have to be ready, and tight ends have to be ready, as well as the running game has to be ready to work off that. That's kind of how the game works. You're on a teeter-totter, and the defense wants to do one thing. You put the weight on the other side to beat that, and if they correct it, then you got to fix it again and put the weight on the other side, and that's just how the game goes.
You're a veteran. You've caught passes from a couple different quarterbacks in this league. You seem to be in sync with Derek Carr. What's it like catching passes from him?
It's great. It's great. Anytime I can catch a ball is a great day for me because I talk a lot and I have a lot of fun and get DBs upset. So it's good.
One last question. This has been pass-heavy offense. 65% of the snaps have been a passed ball. Is it a little too early to call this a pass-first offense, especially with the way Josh Jacobs has been running the ball?
Yeah, I mean, we're 2 games in. Things always flip. It's pretty easy to flip the script and make it all run. Maybe we're going to do whatever has the best chance for us to win. And obviously, we haven't come out on top the last 2 games. So you go into game 3 and you make adjustments. But if we have to run the ball 80 times out of 80 plays to win, then I guess I'm going to tighten my chin strap and be blocking for 80 plays. And that's the way it goes. And if it flips and we have to pass the ball 80 times, Josh and the other running backs are going to protect, and the O-line are going to protect, and know that that's what's going to help us win the game. So that's what's great about this team is we're willing to do whatever it takes to win. Even if the result hasn't shown that yet, it'll come eventually.
That's that dog mentality we're talking about.
Gotta have it.
Good to be with you, Mack. Thanks for joining us. Best of luck. The Silver and Black Show has been brought to you by Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, non-stop flights. Book now only at Allegiant.com. Chevron with Techron gives you unbeatable cleaning and mileage. Chevron, together ahead.
See enough of Chandler Jones last year. You'd like to keep him at arm's length this year?
I like to keep all the big guys up front at arm's length. Obviously talented edge players that they have between Chandler and Max on the other side. Guys who play fast, they're long, they're active, they play hard, and they're disruptive. So definitely have to be aware of those guys and have a plan for them.
It is a rematch, week 1 last year. Chandler Jones, a then member of the Arizona Cardinals, got very up close and personal with Ryan Tannehill. I think Tannehill probably knew what kind of toothpaste he used.
Man.
They were that close after that game. 5 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, 4 tackles for loss. And is this an opportunity for Chandler Jones to have the breakout game that we've been waiting for here in Raider Nation? He's clearly capable of it. And Taylor Lewan, the left tackle for the Tennessee Titans, is not expected to play. He'll be out. So this is an opportunity.
This is the main reason we need to make them one-dimensional. Because if we can make them one-dimensional, Taylor Lewan out, now we can come get after Ryan Tannehill. Mad Max, Chandler Jones, they can come pin their ears back and get after him. But if you cannot stop the run, that will not be able to happen. But if they make them one-dimensional, right, they are not going to be able to hold up on the outside, especially without they all-pro and Taylor Lewan, right? It is going to be pressure consistently on Ryan Tannehill, and you force him to beat you. I'm really looking looking forward to these two pass rushers, Max Crosby and Chandler Jones, to get at it this week.
Yeah, they forced two Ryan Tannehill interceptions. He got hit so many times. He was taken out in the third quarter. We actually got to see Malik Willis come in and play in that
see
game.
Malik again, huh?
You're hoping to see it. So now it's time for our matchups to watch. What are you looking for?
I'm looking at our D-line. I mean, I can't say it enough on this show, right? If we want to win this game and we want to win this game big and in a dominant fashion, we have to stop Derrick Henry. Who's the guys to do that? That's our big boys up front, and it starts from inside out. It starts with our D tackles. It starts with Big Hank, and it goes out to Mad Max and Chandler Jones. They have to stop the run. If you do not stop the run, this is going to be a close game till the end. They got to get after Derrick Henry, stop the run, and force the Tennessee Titans to throw the rock. So I'm really looking forward to seeing our D tackles get at it and forcing that stuff to Mad Max and Chandler Jones and shutting Derrick Henry down again, keeping him around that 2 yards per carry.
And something we might want to watch out for, Josh Jacobs did not travel with the team when they left the Raiders facility on Friday. He's suffering from an illness. He has not officially been ruled out. More news will be coming throughout the weekend. And getting that first win is going to be huge. If they go to 1-2, they're back in it. They have a chance to climb out of the hole. This is a huge game for both teams. Both teams, again, 0-2, and we've all heard the statistics. 2.5% of teams that fall to 0-3 have made the playoffs in recent NFL history. You're less than 3% chance. So this is huge. Do you feel like this is a playoff game in September? I hate those. I hate those cliches.
Yeah.
But is it?
And as a player, you hate to say it is because it's still early in the season. But they know. They know we cannot drop to 0-3. They know that. We cannot drop to 0-3 looking at the Chiefs, the Chargers. You cannot, the Broncos. You cannot go to 0-3. So for me, as a player, I'm sitting up in there like, look at homeboy. We got to get this thing done, right? This is a must-win for us right here.
And meanwhile, the Titans can fall to 0-3 and maybe still win the AFC South.
Yeah,
Can't do that in the AFC West.
The AFC South is what we call.
All right, so it's the Tennessee Titans, Week 3. The Raiders going for their first win. It is a 1 o'clock kickoff on the East Coast. We'll see you guys.